How you doing, everyone? What is going on? Welcome to another episode of Beyond Impact with me, Colin Egglesfield. I'm your host, and today we have an exciting couple of guests where we are going to be talking about all sorts of marketing and scaling your business. We're going to be talking about retreats. And these two amazing, beautiful women I had the privilege of meeting at the Podcast Pitch Fest that was put together by Tamara Thompson. And, the power of networking is incredibly important. It's definitely something that I've been taking more advantage of over the past few years with wanting to grow and scale my business. As an actor coming from that world of the entertainment industry, as an actor, we have our job where we are it's all about memorizing our lines and auditioning for projects. And then the thing is, we've got our agent and our manager who are guiding our careers. Then we've got the director and the producer who's putting the projects together. And so there's a whole collaboration of different people that come together to put together a project. As I've been transitioning into the world of entrepreneurship, it is definitely something that I have a passion for, and I absolutely love it. It's been a very interesting road, though, over the past 4 or 5 years. Ever since I wrote my book, Agile Artist, in 2019, I've really been diving deep into what it takes to be successful with marketing and promoting and putting your just basically putting your brand out there into the marketplace, finding out who your customers are, who your target avatars are, and a lot of the stuff has been fascinating, but a lot of the times it can be incredibly overwhelming. And especially now with AI, which is completely just transformed and flipped a lot of industries on its head, including the entertainment industry. We are now seeing a lot of opportunity and a lot of displacement, but there's also a lot of possibility for us to take advantage of some of these things to help us grow and scale our businesses and take it to that next level. However, there's one thing that AI cannot replace, and that is you, your unique personality, your unique offer, and your ability to connect with the people that you want to serve in your universe of whatever it is that you do. And tonight, my guests are going to be talking about what that actually means and how to connect with people on a deep, authentic level so that you are able to serve them on the level that meets them where they are at. As an actor, we get trained on how to do all sorts of stagecraft, and we learn all sorts of insight and techniques to be able to own your moment and to create the stage wherever it is that you go in life. And I'm deeply appreciative of meeting these amazing women that I'm going to be introducing you to in a few seconds here, because they are truly people who I feel are aligned with my purpose and my brand and where I want to take it. But one thing that I've realized too is that we can't do great things alone. It takes an army and an incredible support team to support you with fulfilling on whatever it is that you want to do in life. And it's important to be able to ask and reach out and tell people what it is that you need and what it is that you're looking for. And that requires an ability to communicate your vision, communicate what it is that matters most to you. And this is where it can be sometimes uncomfortable and it can be a little nerve-wracking with regards to talking about what are the things that we really need, where we are vulnerable, and what are some of the points in our business where we can humbly take advice and some feedback to grow. It's important to be able to take feedback and insight with whatever it is you're doing if you are truly committed to growing. The hard part about that, though, is that it can feel like criticism and it can feel like we can take it personally. And this is where, with my Beyond Impact Communications Masterclass, this is where I teach you how to take all of this communication and incorporate it into your deep spiritual vision of who you are and what you want to do in life so that you start to elevate in life in all aspects with regards to who you are and your self-identity and what you want to do and what kind of impact do you want to make in the world. And so tonight, I'm going to be introducing you to these two lovely ladies. First is Lainey Cavazos, and the second is Miss Christy Kendall, and they make a powerhouse duo. And the two of these women have been helping me put together and formulate and get really focused with what Beyond Impact is and how it can be brought out into the marketplace and how it can resonate deeply with my core audience. And tonight they are going to be sharing with us their insight and their experience and their expertise with marketing. And then also we're going to be touching a little bit up on retreats because that's something that I've been doing for the past few years as well. So all of you people out there, coaches, speakers, and entrepreneurs, if you are looking to grow, scale, to make a bigger impact in your audience's lives and in your life, tonight's episode is going to be jam-packed with a ton of information. So sit back, grab a cocktail or a cup of coffee or whatever it is that you need for us to be able to just truly have an inspiring conversation. And what I'm going to talk to you about now is a little bit about who these ladies are and their backstory. So Miss Christy Kendall is, first off, a visibility strategist and marketing powerhouse for women entrepreneurs who are ready to stop spinning their wheels and start selling with impact. As the co-founder of We Summits and Girl Code Marketing, Christy helps transformational leaders turn visibility into real sales by leveraging the power of summits, retreats, funnels, and marketing systems that convert. And with her background in sales psychology and design for over 15 years of experience working with and coaching women to grow their businesses, Christy developed the EQ Marketing Matrix, which I'm going to be excited to ask her about, and her signature method that blends emotional connection with high converting strategies. She's also the author of the Little Pink Book of Selling and the upcoming Little Black Book of Marketing. And Christy believes that your stage is any platform where you show up with a message that moves people. And that's why Christy and Lainey are so aligned with what I'm doing. And that's why I'm excited to have this conversation tonight. And when this is done right, it doesn't just create income, it creates a legacy. And I love to talk about legacy. I love to talk about the impact that you're making. And Lainey Cavazos is the go-to expert for coaches and entrepreneurs ready to turn their retreats into six-figure businesses. That's right, ladies and gents, six figures. And with her 18 plus years in marketing, brand strategy, and hospitality, she led the launch of Marriott Bonvoy in the Middle East and rebranded Ritz-Carlton venues. And through her company, The Retreat Planner, she's helped clients worldwide design profitable, transformational retreats. And I'm excited to bring these two lovely ladies to the stage right now because we've got some exciting things that we are doing together, starting with tomorrow, June 3rd, our first event that we are going to be talking about tonight. But ladies and gents, please welcome to the stage, Lainey and Christy. Put your hands together. Yay. Good to see you guys. Welcome.
So excited to be here. Thank you, Colin.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you for having us here. We're so excited to be able to talk to your audience and really go deeper into like what it takes to have a thriving and successful business.
Well, I could definitely use it because as I was mentioning earlier, I'm still in this growth phase of learning all of this stuff. And it really requires the experts in the space of marketing and strategic planning. So we'd love to just start off by getting a little bit more of a background about what you guys love about what you do, a little bit about your background and how you two met and decided to work together to help other female entrepreneurs to grow and scale their businesses.
I think I'll let Christy take us through. It's a good story.
Yes. Well, first thing I want to say is I love how you talk about alignment and networking and all of those things. So when you walked in that room to give your presentation on owning your moment, what I really saw was how powerful presence is. And that's something that when you are new to business or you're putting your business together or you're just trying to reach that high ticket sellout, whatever you're doing, if you can show up with that radiance and that ability to connect, that's a superpower. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have the sales skill honed. You don't have to have your marketing in place. If you can show up, like you mentioned, we talk about every opportunity is your stage. And when you can show up with that presence and that power and that ability to connect, you own the room. So that's really what we saw in you and are so grateful for. So thank you for bringing that to us.
You're welcome.
And how did Lenny and I meet? Lenny and I met through podcasting. I did over 1,000 pre-podcast interviews in a year and a half.
Wow.
And that was my main pitch. That was my stage to pitch. And I met her. She did one of my courses, and she was one of those powerful women that implements and moves fast. And the very first thing I had her do was make a post. She got 300 leads. And I always warn my clients, you better make sure your calendar is on point and aligned because it will fill up. And she did not put any limits on that. So she filled her calendar, and that was her point of burnout, which we had to accommodate for. And I know you're going to talk about how you manage your time and your wellness. So that's what can happen with the right strategy and the right system and the right coach, really. So that's how we met. And she was my prize student. She got all these results, and we ended up becoming friends and stayed friends all these years. And she kept planting the seed, like, let's do this summit. Let's do this summit. And I just had to have the right emotional capacity to do it. I've done marketing for summits before, and it's a undertaking.
Mhm.
And right timing, divine timing is a thing. We launched Wild Woman with Impact Summit, and it was a hit. We had wild success with that, and it took off. And we've been
When
doing
was
it ever
that?
since.
When was that
That
first
was
one?
a year ago. We are coming up on our year anniversary of the
All
Wild
right.
Woman's.
Congratulations.
Thank
And
you.
the title of these summits are Wild Women Summits. Where did this title come from, and what is that? What's the metaphor? What does it represent?
The
Christy,
Wild Woman with
amazing.
Impact Summit came from knowing that our audience, who are women with transformational passion, they want to create transformation. Their businesses create transformation. These women are wild. They are the rule breakers. They're the black sheep. They are the women who have said, we're breaking these beliefs and we're changing the game, and we're doing it boldly and unapologetically. And we just put it out there as a test, and it took off. And there's a lot of women that really resonate with that concept of wild. We're tired of being boxed in and told what to do and what not to do and how to do it. And these are women just want to live really authentically from passion and purpose. And that's a wild woman.
I do want to
Yeah.
add here just that, as people who do marketing for a living, yes, we had the great idea of a Wild Woman with Impact Summit. It was just like, yes, it felt great, but we actually went out and we tested it, right? We made sure that people wanted it before we put anything out there together. We made a post, it went crazy, right? People wanted it. People were like, how can I be a speaker? How can I attend? But we went through the marketing process that a lot of people skip. We dove deep into then, like, we're okay, people want it, but who are these people, right?
Mhm.
So really understanding the ideal client, what makes them tick, what do they want as a result. So it was not just like, oh yes, like the concept, it's amazing, it's super powerful, but we took all the steps behind the scenes. And I want to bring this to the stage, because a lot of people are skipping that in their businesses.
And you're saying skipping the step of really identifying and niching down who their audience and their clients are. Is that what you mean?
Well, yes, like knowing their ideal client, niching down, solving one problem, right? One big solution for one big problem. But in general, they're skipping market research. They're skipping testing. They just think because they like it, it's gonna work.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
so many women go out there and they build these courses and they put together this process and they have their ebooks and their content created, and no audience.
Crickets.
And they have never tried, they haven't put it out there to see if somebody's interested in that, to test it, to see where it is in the market, where it is in their audience journey. And so that a lot of struggle and frustration can happen from that with people.
And a lot of expenses, because people pay tens of thousands of dollars for companies to come build their concept. And then nothing works. And the content inside might be perfect, might be super transformational. Sometimes it's just a name.
And it's interesting you say that, because Lainey, you worked with Marriott Bonvoy and the Ritz-Carlton. Can you tell us a little bit about like working with big companies like that? Obviously, with, a solopreneur who doesn't have deep pockets to be able to do a ton of market research, what would you say you learned from even working with these big companies? You're saying, were they missing the mark on their advertising and their marketing and how to reach their customers?
Oh, no. But they spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on market research. I
To
mean, I
get the
can give,
feedback and the data.
yes, everything was backed up in the data. And I like to share these like stories. So we used to run a lot of like digital marketing campaigns, right? Like $1 million budgets. So big budgets. And I don't expect any entrepreneur, solopreneur to like go spend $1 million testing to see if things work or not. But what it's like what we call customer insights, right? It's like that's knowing your audience. That we used to pay a lot of money to companies to go and do the research and test, especially because we were launching Marriott Bonvoy and we were merging 3 different loyalty programs. We needed to understand what people wanted. But if you go through that research, you can find that, for example, in the Middle East, you should not use pictures of feet. People find it repulsive in their marketing campaigns. And in the US, people love the pictures of the feet on the sand. They love it, right? So even it's not just about like the concept itself, it's even the culture, it's the country. But there is a trick behind the scenes to do this without spending hundreds of thousands of dollars. And that's what I do with my clients, because I don't want them to spend that much amount of money figuring out who their audience is. First of all, there's a lot of companies out there that run this customer insights research and they launch their results once a year. So you can actually go and download the report for free. So you don't have to spend the money. You just have to go find those and find the research. Like, for example, for retreats, there is and for this one you pay, but for people who are in the wellness industry, there is the Global Wellness Institution that runs a lot of market research every year. And it tells you absolutely everything you need to know about how customers behave and how much money they're spending on wellness holidays that include retreats. What is the percentage, how much they spend, how much they don't, the length of the holidays. So you can actually find out all that information online. A lot of it is free. Some of them you do need to pay for the research because, they're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to do the research. Another great way is you can go into Reddit and see what people are talking about. Super powerful tool. We don't use Reddit as much as we should as marketers. I've done that mistake. I have sometimes forget about it. So there are places where we can go do this. And the reality is that we can take examples from big companies, large companies like Marriott, and see what they're doing, and then just scale it down to where we can actually implement it in our businesses. We do not need to be a massive company in order to have loyalty marketing, in order to have digital campaigns that actually convert. You can have it. It's just in a different scale, and you need to also measure your goals. A lot of people don't measure the goals. That's the secret behind big companies. They measure absolutely everything. And Christy will not let me lie. For the summits, for the Wild Women with Impact Summit, we measure over 40 different elements each single summit. And sometimes more than that. And there's KPIs and there's goals. And then if we don't reach those goals, we look at why we didn't reach this goal. What happened here? What was the difference? An example was a summit we did in November, very close to elections. Never doing that again.
You got a little lesson in there.
What did you learn from doing that?
To not do it ever again.
Why?
It was during the holidays and it was during an election. So what happens with that is marketing costs go up. Audiences are distracted. So we had to put triple the amount of money into the budget to get the same audience. So it just didn't make sense financially for us to do it again during that time. Now, holidays are okay. You are still going to have an increase in your ad budget, your ad spend, but when you couple those together, it was very difficult. So that's really what it ended up. We had to put triple the ad spend out to get the same result.
Yeah,
adjusting the timeline slightly and then you don't have to deal with that.
Yeah, for
But there's
example,
two
you don't
things.
want to be running ads, right, during Thanksgiving. You just don't. Black Friday. Ads like go 5 times, 10 times more expensive.
So in
And
terms
there's
of
two things that I want to, sorry, we glitched a little.
I was just going to say, just if we could just back up a little bit to get to, before we get to the specifics of the marketing and like the best times of the year to be doing events and summits and retreats. And Lainey, you with your background in retreats, I'd love to do another episode where we specifically focus only on retreats
Oh
because
yeah.
I've been doing them for a few years and I absolutely love to do them, but I've definitely have learned something from each retreat that I've done and would love to do a whole episode about those, which we can talk about on another episode. But for right now, just for our listeners and for our entrepreneurs and solopreneurs out there, specifically for what they can get out of this episode, because what I like to do is obviously share information that is going to be impactful and practical that people can put into and implement into their business right away. Tomorrow, June 3rd, we have a backstage event where you've been helping me put together some of this behind the scenes stuff. And what I've really been amazed at watching you guys do the marketing and do some of the split testing with emails, which we're going to be starting to release. So those of you out there on my email list, we're going to be doing different kinds of marketing and experimenting, and would love your feedback and just your participation so that we can learn and grow together. And we'll do a follow-up episode to let you know specifically what we learned from some of this stuff. But in terms of our audiences out there who are looking to, if our audience are solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, business owners, speakers, coaches, tomorrow we're doing this event to share with you the ways in which you can take what you are currently doing and learn some insight and some strategy to create more of an impact on stage. And would love for you guys to share with us a little bit about what that event is tomorrow and what people can get out of that event so that we can just continue to share the specifically what it is that you guys do and what we're going to be doing tomorrow.
All right, Christy, you want to go or go?
Yes.
We always get super excited, so we're like,
I know, we don't want to talk over each other, so we look at each other.
no, we think the same.
Well, it is our backstage pass. So what we do on our summits is we have these incredible speakers and they have these incredible geniuses. They're so good at what they do. Sometimes these are healers or business, they teach marketing, sales, copywriting, but many of them have transformational businesses that help you with the whole life, right? So mindset, wellness, menopause, all these great things that help you bring success full circle in a holistic way. So they're not necessarily expert marketers or expert speakers. And so through our summits, the speaker process is we bring in experts to support them and to give them workshops or tips or tools or foundational elements that will help them be able to sell from stage in a really powerful way. And so that is one thing that we're super excited about is we're bringing you on to give our speakers this workshop on how to own the room, how to get the yeses to show up, and all that beautiful stuff that you teach with impact and speaking and presence. And so we're opening that up for anybody who has thought about selling from stage, having an opportunity such as speaking from a summit, or you just want clients and you maybe don't have that confidence in place to get on a summit and tell your story and make a sale. So we're bringing you in for that and opening this so everybody can have that backstage experience. What do our speakers experience through the process of preparing to speak on this summit? And so we're super excited to bring you on. And if you have thought about being a speaker, thought about speaking from a summit, been a little hesitant on what an investment like that really will provide for you, this is a great opportunity for you to have not only some speaker training from Colin, but an experience that a successful summit speaker gets to go through behind the scenes.
Awesome. And can you tell us a little bit about more what your community is all about? Because you've got a pretty, how many people are in your current community at Wild Women Summits?
We have had over 150 speakers in a year. We've had over, I would say by now, this is our 7th summit. We reach about 100,000 people with every summit. So we're almost at 1 million
Wow.
reach.
100,000. How do you reach them? Is this all recorded and then they watch it? Like, is it like your online community? Is it tell me a little bit more about what your community is.
Our summits are live. Lenny's genius is retreats. And so we run our summits like a retreat. So it is a transformational experience. And so here's the thing about our audience and women in general. And we do market mainly to women. 80% of women are currently seeking transformation. And when you look at that number and you look at how many of these women want to get out of a job, they're trying to get their business off the ground so they can live a life of freedom and be who they want to be and have the experience that they want to have. When you look at those numbers and you also couple that with data such as people are 60% more likely to buy from a live event. If somebody purchases something from you, they're 70% likely to buy again. So when you look at all these factors and you stack it up, women want connection. Probably humans want connection. I focus on women because that's my audience. That's what I research, but we want connection. And the point of real impact is connection first. So our summits are live. Our audience is live, just like this. Our speaker comes on, speaks, the audience is there, the audience can engage. And that is why our summits have maintained numbers such as 80% retention rate for our audience. That means when somebody from the audience is showing up live, they're staying on the whole time. If you've ever been on a summit, it's a lot. You've been through 3-day summits. That's how we met you. So to have somebody stay online for 3 full days from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. and not even want to leave for lunch, you know that the impact is happening. This is an audience that wants connection. They are learning from amazing speakers. These speakers are bringing incredible value and tips and tools and insight and transformation to our audiences.
So the summit that we're doing on June 18th, that's going to be from 9 to 6 p.m. Tomorrow is speaker training to share some insight and some stagecraft for some of the speakers that are going to be speaking at the summit on June 18th, as well as anyone else who's looking to pick up some insight and strategy and learn how to become more confident and impactful with selling from the stage. And I put up the link for the Backstage Summit for tomorrow. But in terms of the summit that you're actually doing on June 18th, I believe this is it here, wildwomansummit.com. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And how many of these summits do you do a year?
Well, we do 4 summits are under the Wow Woman Summit brand. So our company, We Summit, creates more than one summit, right? So in February, we had a menopause summit. And in January, we had an AI summit, right? We're going to have a high ticket sales summit as well. We're going to have a retreat summit in this year as well. So we usually, our average is around 8 summits per year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I would say something that it's important for anyone who's considering being a speaker at summits and using summits as an opportunity to grow their stage, to grow their presence, their authority, to get more leads, right? You do want to consider if you're joining a summit that's done once a year, or if you're joining a summit as a speaker that's done consistently, So then you keep getting visibility in the future because your recording is in a private podcast and it stays there. So anyone in the future, so for example, Colin, you're going to be on our summit. So you're going to be on the 19th at 10 a.m. Pacific time, hint, hint for everyone who's here, right? But the recording of your session is going to be on this podcast, right? So anyone who signs up for August summit will get access to your talk and your lead map
as a recording. Yeah.
Okay.
as a recording. What that creates is the opportunity for you to generate leads in continuity. It's a huge difference from joining a summit that happens once a year or once in a moon, full like pink moon or anything like that, right? So when we're thinking about it, like you want to consider when you're deciding where you want to choose your stages to be, does it make sense for you long term? Does it make sense for you short term? Right? And what are the requirements, right? Like a lot of summits, like I just like got an invitation to be a speaker at a summit and they were like, well, the minimum requirements, you have to have an email list of 5,000 people. And I do have it, right? So I was like, okay, but if you don't have an email list of 5,000 people, what are you going to do? Right? You need to find those places where they will bring the audience for you. And that's exactly what we do at the Wow Woman Summit. We bring their ready to buy audience for the speakers. So yes, they promote because you want to build your authority, you want to showcase your expertise, you want to be seen as a go-to leader, but we're not relying on the speakers to bring the audience. We get you a ready to buy audience because we bring loyalty marketing, like what we were applying at Marriott, right? We bring Christy's EQ marketing matrix, right? It's all about connection, emotions, and feelings and who you want to become, right? And an identity shift. And we create our summits so engaging that people don't want to leave.
So can you tell us a few success stories of some of the speakers that have been on your stages and what they've been able to do to grow and scale and some of the results that they've had?
Yes, we love to talk about this. So the first person that I will share is Bethany. So Bethany is a she teaches you trauma-informed, she trains you to be trauma-informed. And she has a high-ticket trauma-informed certification course. It's a 9-month course that you can go through. It's very high ticket. Bethany is an absolute gem, complete genius. But she has had to do everything manually in her business. She's had to, do like all the parts, all the moving parts and pieces. When you're a one-man show and you have to do everything, you're capped.
You're everything.
You're capped at your income because you're still working time for dollar, right? When you're one of those, when you don't have the systems in place. So Bethany started with us and she was a speaker on one of our summits. And she sold 10 high-ticket packages within the first hour and a half of her talk. And she messaged us after that and said that she's been doing this for over 3 decades. She has been in the transformational world for over 3 decades. And she said in 3 decades, she has never gotten 10 high-ticket clients in an hour before, not even in a month. That is the power of selling from stage.
Mm-hmm. What's the price point for her high ticket offer?
Bethany's offer is $12,000.
$12,000. Okay.
Yeah. And
amazing.
She will actually be presenting on our June summit. So she's coming up. You'll get to meet her. Many of our speakers come back. So we have a lot of repeat speakers because they get such great results.
Yeah. And honestly, anyone who wants to like if you're a coach, you need to be trauma informed. I mean, like, it's not even a question anymore. Like before, the word trauma was not even very popular. Now it's like everywhere. And like, not to be very blunt, but I'm going to be blunt. People are extra sensitive nowadays. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like you say the wrong word and a message, and then people are just exploding and going crazy. And if it's your client, how do you deal with that? Right? In a way that also you can set your boundaries. So super, super important to be trauma informed as a coach for sure. And this is important to you, right?
What I want to say about that is in this world, being trauma informed is something that is in high demand. Bethany knows her audience, right? That was one reason that she was successful. She knew who her audience was. And so she knew that this was a fit for what she had to offer. And we make sure, as we take our speakers through the process of determining if this is the right fit, is we look at that. Is this the right audience for you? Because that is so important. Not everybody's going to get a result if it's the wrong audience.
Mhm.
So that is one key feature. It is a hot and in-demand conversation amongst therapists and coaches and transformational businesses. It's important to them, and they're willing to invest in it. So know your audience.
I think I
So
want
you
to
can-
talk about my dog and cat story. I know.
Yes,
Christy's always like, oh my gosh, again with her dog and cat story. But like, and like it goes a little bit like deeper. So imagine, like, for everyone who's listening to this, like, just imagine for a second that your whole career is being a cat whisperer. And you're in front of an audience and you ask people, like, who here loves cats? And it turns out you're in a conference for dog lovers. Are you in front of the right people? Are they going to buy your services, right? Are you in front of the right fit audience?
Mhm.
And so many times we forget about it. We're just so eager to just like throw bullets everywhere,
Yeah.
hope that something hits,
Yeah.
and we forget.
Yeah. I think that's one of the important things that I like to do when I get up in front of an audience is just check in, just ask. It's a great icebreaker as well. Just tell me a little bit about like what you guys, are looking for, or what it is that that's important to you in the area of communication or public speaking. What are some of the pain points? What are some of the challenges that you face? So that way you can weave it into your presentation, and that way you're speaking into the listening of exactly what it is that they want, so that by the time you're done with your talk, it makes it much easier for you to be able to share then, okay, great. This is what you're dealing with. This is what I can help you with to get you to where you truly want to be. And a lot of it just is asking empowering questions and then just listening. It's a very novel concept.
Yes.
But in terms of, I during my coaching, I meet quite a few people who they have ideas. They may want to start a business. They may want to write a book. They may want to do a course, but having not done it in the past, I think a lot of the times what gets in the way is our own questioning whether or not we have something of value that can make a difference in someone's life. When I first started acting, the idea of going out to Hollywood and becoming a professional actor, when I really hadn't done much, those I guess thoughts of who am I to think that I could do something like this? Why would someone want to hire me? And what I've realized is there's a lot of people who have unique gifts and a unique calling to do something. And for anyone out there who has a desire or has, I think a lot of people who are tuning in and listening to their intuition, our soul will speak to us. That deep, intuitive soul purpose communication that we have when we are in our quiet moments. It's hard to ignore that. And for those of you out there who are looking to finally start taking action and putting that into turning that into some sort of course or book or whatever it is, I would highly encourage you to show up tomorrow and in June for the summit that we're going to be doing, because a lot of the times you need some insight and some strategy, and most importantly, the support of people who are already doing it. And that's why I'm excited to be working with you guys, because I love what I do. I'm really good at finding out what people are excited about and what is their sole purpose, and helping them start putting in some integrity to be able to turn that into a business, or to write a book, or turn that into a course. But what I lack is a background in marketing and scaling a business. And that's the part where you guys come in. So together, I'm excited about sharing all this stuff. But for anyone out there, and I guess from your experience working with the clients that you've worked with, what would you say are some of the things that you share with your clients and some of the empowerment that you share with your clients to help them realize that even though they've never done this before, that they can do it, and that you need to listen to that intuition, and all it is sharing with them a roadmap and a plan to turn what it is that they truly desire to have, and to create and to step into that self identity of what matters most to them. What are some of the things that you have shared with your clients that have helped them overcome some of these negative thoughts or these feelings of who am I to think that I could do something like this?
Yes, I love this question so much. So the very first thing is there's such a fear of visibility, right? Because the visibility is tied to rejection.
Mm.
If we do something wrong, we say something wrong, we don't do it
Yep.
right, then they're not going to like us. It's an innate need in the human nature to be accepted. And here's the deal. There're going to be criticism people out there. They're going to say the mean shit. There's going to be people out there that don't like you, no matter how perfect you are. They're going to have the comments, no matter who they are. It's going to happen. And you're just going to have to do it anyway. It will happen. So we're telling you right now, your biggest fear will happen. It happens. It just happened to me the other day. I did not want to make a post I was posting a reel. And I'm like, no, I'm doing this no matter what. I don't care. And sure enough, somebody shows up and has something negative to say. So it will happen. So get okay with that and find your people, because you cannot, just like, the dating coaches tell you that when it's the right person, you can't mess up. It's the same thing with your right fit clients.
Mm-hmm.
You can't mess up. I promise you, Bethany has been with me. I've done Bethany's. We used Bethany. So I'm going to use her as an example. Bethany has been with me. I've been doing Bethany's marketing for 4 years. And Bethany has seen me through the worst time of my entire life. It's going to make me cry a little. She is never judged me. She shows up with the most love. And that is your right fit client right there. Your audience loves you no matter how imperfect you are. So don't let that stop you. Just do it anyway. And then you have to have the desire for what you're doing. The why has to be big, because money, we think we're money driven. We're mostly not money driven. If you're tired, you're burnt out, your kid's in the hospital for 3 months, your grandbaby's in the NICU, and you're tired, you're not going to want to get out of bed, let alone show up on that podcast or show up on that phone call or that sales call. You're not going to want to do it. But if you have something that drives you more than anything, you will swim through the shark-infested waters. You will do what needs to be done no matter what. So find why you're doing this and why you want it, and keep that at the forefront of your mind, because it's not easy. And anybody who tells you that it's easy and you'll make $45 million in 37 seconds is a lie. It is a lie.
Mm-hmm.
I always say that sales is highest level transformation. And that is because the process to get to those high ticket offers and selling out your course and getting on stage and having your $1 million day, you have to reach highest level transformation. You have to do the work. And it is not easy. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it and everybody would be billionaires. And they're not.
Oh my God. Yes. I want to say, Christy, that I totally agree. I think actually being an entrepreneur, is one of the deepest spaces for deep transformation of who you are, shifting your identity, facing your biggest fears, connecting with those places of you that you hid, those things in the drawer that you just put all under there, and then suddenly you're putting a post on Facebook and people are saying mean stuff about you, or even your parents. So I'll tell you this mini story. The other day, Mom, if you're listening to these, I love you to death, but but she always find a way to ask me about like yesterday I went out and she's like, aren't you gonna fix your hair? I'm like, I fix
Yeah.
my hair. What are you talking about? And she's
I'll
like,
get on social media and people will be like, wow, you look tired. That's because I am. Like, I'm not allowed to look tired.
yeah.
I
And then,
didn't bring the makeup team. I didn't
Yeah.
bring the makeup set.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
exactly, right? And we went even like she went even deeper because like we went to this podcast recording studio when we were in Las Vegas and I recorded a bunch of content. And I had like a very fluffy hair, kind of like siren style. And she's like, yeah, like maybe next time when you go recording, go like do your hair. And I'm like, I did my hair. What are you talking about? Actually, like we used
Yeah.
a machine. Like, I mean, like we did, right? So like you're gonna find this resistance not just from people in social media, but actually your family.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I think actually your family usually it's even stronger. So just like you need to know that if you have a bigger purpose, and I think a great book for this is Finding Your Why from Simon Sinek. Right. So if you're all
Mm.
about like, I need to find my why, go read that book. It's absolutely amazing. And like find something that's really, really passionate for you, but also
Mhm.
remember that you then need to transform it into something that a goal that you want to accomplish because passion fades. One
Yeah.
day I might wake up super passionate about my job, and the next day I'll be like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do this. So when we set goals, we set productivity, we measure things, right? We put the logical piece of our brain to work as well, not just the emotional piece, and they work together, right? It's not just about the mindset, it's also about the action, right? Like you cannot manifest anything if you don't take action. So when you're doing this, you need to like have your why, be super strict about it, but also make a plan. And your plan it will not work if you say, within the next 3 months, I'm going to make $1 million. But create a 5-year plan. Like really treat your
Mhm.
business
Realistic plan.
like a business,
Plan.
not like a hobby, not like a freelancer. Treat it like a business. Like ask yourself, if I were in a 9-to-5 job, would my boss approve this project for me? Would I be able actually to go and launch it? Or would they say, go back to the drawing board, my friend, because this does not fly?
Mhm.
And if you have that why and you have that clarity and you have your drive and all of that in front of you, you're going to be more willing to do the things, the uncomfortable things, the
Yeah.
posting the reel, even if you're getting comments. And, I met you at the podcast pitch fest and we had to pitch. That was the thing. That was the ending event, right?
Mhm.
And my team, I was the one. And I do summits. I'm on podcasts. I am a speaker, but it's been a long time since I've been on a real life stage with real human beings right in front of me that I can
Yep.
actually touch, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I had to get up there and I had to give that pitch. And I told Lenny in the hotel room before Podcast Pitch Fest, I said, I'm going to win that. And we didn't know what it was. We'd never been there, right? And I had to do this. And I didn't know what I was doing. I had to read my notes from my phone because I didn't have it
Mhm.
memorized. And I knew that I was getting on that stage no matter how much I really was uncomfortable. I really didn't want to. I didn't know what I was doing. I was the first one out. So I had to be the one that screwed up because I didn't know how to do it. And I was quivering. My lips were quivering as I was giving this pitch. And I was thinking as I'm doing it, I'm reading all these notes and all the communications classes in college. You're not supposed to read your notes, and all the things were going through my mind as I was doing this. And I gave it 100%.
And you
And
killed it.
I won. I did.
You killed it.
You won, right? I have to say, I won second place.
Well,
You know,
I have to
but
say,
that's-
as one of the judges at the Pitch Fest, I would say what's great about what you guys did was that the most important thing that we learn as actors is it's not about getting the words right and being perfect with your delivery. It's how committed and invested are you with what it is that you are talking about. And as you were saying, Lainey, it's why are you saying what you're saying? You got to get deeply connected to the impact, and I liked what you talked about, Christy, in terms of talking about sales is transformational change, because a lot of people have this icky notion about sales, and I don't want to get up in front of a group of people and I don't want to sell anyone. But that's where I think sales, the word selling and sales just has is a bad, there's just so many associated bad
It has a bad rep.
It's got
associations
the
with
ick.
it,
It's
because
got
we
the
think
ick.
about like used car salesmen and all this sort of thing. But really what I like that term transformational change, because that's really what it is. So if you just take the word sales out of it and just think about when you get up in front of a group of people, be connected to the deep purpose why this is important to you. Because if it's important to you, it's going to be important to other people. Even if your niche is a smaller niche, you don't need to have a giant niche. There's 8 billion people in this world. There's people out there who need what you have. And it's not about you getting up in front of a group of people and trying to please everyone and make sure that everyone likes you and understands what you have to offer. And like you guys were saying, the right people, you will find them, but only if you show up and be your unique self and you are able to deliver what you have to offer with clarity and purpose. And the people that it will resonate with, they're the ones that will raise their hand and say, I need that and I need what you have to offer. And even if it's not right now, for those people in that room or what it is or where you are or sharing what it is, whatever it is that you have to offer, it may be sometime down the road. And that's why it's important to create this universe and this flywheel of marketing and social media and email marketing so that you're just gently letting people know that this is who you are, this is what you do. And then what I've been learning is just making those gentle calls to action to invite people, because what I've recognized too and realized that people need definitive direction on what to do because there's so much noise out there
Mm.
that our brains get overwhelmed, that the simpler that you can make something for someone to just say yes. And this is what we're going to be talking about in terms of the yes method and getting people to say yes, just making it as simple and clear and as focused as possible. And this is why I'm excited to be working with you guys, because I'm learning so much just having worked with you guys now just for the past few weeks. And for anyone out there who's interested in getting more clarity and focus for you to be able to deliver whatever it is that you have to offer to your audience, you guys have to reach out to these lovely ladies. And as we wrap up here, I would like to just touch on one last thing here in terms of what it is that we have to offer and the value and the price tag that we put on it. Because I think what I've struggled with is what price tag do you put on whatever it is that you have to offer? And you see coaches out there like Tony Robbins and Christian Mickelson and all these like these high ticket $100,000, $250,000 offers. And that can be confronting for someone who's just starting out or who's been doing this for a while, where it can be hard to definitively establish that my value is this. And so when you're having a call with someone and delivering your offer, it can come across as wobbly if you don't firmly know and are not connected to the value that you offer to someone, so that when you are making your $12,000 offer, it can come across as apologetic. So what is it that you do or share or coach your clients so that when they get up on that stage, they are delivering their message and their offer with confidence, and they are dialed in with what they have to offer, so that when they do make the offer, it's not a sale, it's a transformational offer to change.
Oh my
That is
gosh.
what you have to believe in, is you have to believe in the transformation. If you believe so strongly in the transformation, all the rest of it will fall into place. I hear all the time, charge your worth, charge your worth. Tell me your worth, Colin. How much are you worth? You can't charge your worth. You have to believe in your transformation. You have to know your audience, and you have
Mhm.
to know the value of the transformation. And here's the key to all of it: confidence. Tap
Mhm.
into what you know. You're not going to be confident when you're doing something that you're not familiar with. Confidence comes from success and results. So when you're doing something new, you're not going to be confident in it. So you tap into what you are confident about, trust that, Believe in the transformation of what you're offering and know the actual monetary value of that. Tony Robbins can charge that much because he has an audience that can afford it. He works with high-level executives, multi-billion-dollar business people. They know that it's worth $100,000 for a 30-minute session to change a belief. They'll pay for that. But if your audience are busy teachers with brand new babies, you're probably not going to sell any $100,000 half-hour sessions. It doesn't fit.
You never know.
But it's very unlikely.
It's not likely if you know that audience, but you can still make your $100,000 half an hour if you know how to strategically market and get the people in the room and make the right offer. But that will come with time. So just believe in your transformation and be confident about it and about what you do and who you serve, and that you can get them the result. That confidence will supersede any other non-confident areas of your life, and people will hear your story and they will see you showing up authentically and creating connection, and they will want to work with you.
Yeah, and adding into this, I would say that something is that it's very connected to this is tap into your experience, right? Like before this call, Christy and I, we were talking, well, like we do almost every day, nothing rare, but we were having a conversation, and I was just telling her, I could give away my courses, right? I can give away the scripts of what I teach. I can give away the ebooks. I can give away the landing pages. I could give away everything. Still, no one is going to be able to come to the sessions and teach what I teach, because no one has hosted a dinner in front of the Giza pyramids for loyal members, right? No one has had private concerts with Craig David for loyal members and backstage access for 10, right? Dubai Jazz Festival, singing in the shower. And even if they did, some of them, they would not have the compilation of who I am, because I am built through my experiences and what has made me who I am today. So I could give away everything and still no one could replicate me, right?
Exactly.
And tap into that experience, right? So if you're thinking about starting your business, getting on stages, selling, even though you've been selling yourself all your life and not in a bad way. Right? So let's just think about it. But if you're considering these pieces, becoming an entrepreneur, don't try to go for the fancy thing that is trending right now and try to make yourself a coach of burnout. Burnout was very popular last year. This year, it's not trending. So if you spend thousands of dollars becoming a certified burnout coach or whatever, it doesn't serve you anymore. Really tap into all the things that you already have. Where your passion is, where is your why? What transformation do you want to make? And then build your business based on that. Because if not, you're just trying to follow the trends, and trends fade. But marketing foundations and business foundations, they do not change. They don't. The tools might, but not the foundations. We're doing digital marketing now. It's exactly the same before, but people were just knocking on people's doors. Don't forget that. Go back to the foundations. Don't try to just reinvent the wheel when it already exists.
Love it. Love it. And that's why I'm so excited to be working with you guys. And what I love about what you guys do is you just create an amazing stage for people to step onto it, to be able to own it. And that's what I help people do, is to be able to own that stage. So together, I am excited to share tomorrow and at the end of June what it is that we all collaboratively have to offer to be able to help coaches, speakers, entrepreneurs, anyone out there who has a dream, a vision, and wants to turn that into a business or a book or a course or whatever it is. We're here to help and support you guys in launching and growing and scaling and really truly stepping into that ideal self-identity of what you know in your heart and your soul you are meant to do, And all you got to do is you can look down below here, wesummits.com/backstage. Looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow morning. Ladies, thank you for your insight, your knowledge. And
Thank you so much.
Christy, what you were saying about when your clients show up, and if it's the right client, they show you the love. But I got to tell you, the only way your clients are going to show love to you is if you first show love to them. And it's indicative that both of you have shown so much love to me and everyone that I saw you guys interacting with at the Broadcast Your Authority event. And that's why truly it's been a blessing to work with you guys. And I'm excited to introduce my audience to you guys because you have so much love and abundance to share with everyone out there. So let's get this thing going, shall we?
Yes, we're so excited.
All right. All right, ladies, I'll see you guys tomorrow. And thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
All right. Talk to you guys soon. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in for another episode. And you're definitely going to want to rewatch this because there's tons of nuggets and some insight and just some mindset stuff that I think is important that we consistently revisit. I think a lot of times we can, like Christy was saying and Lainey were saying about getting stuck in the weeds when really we just want to keep this as simple as possible. Leave all the technical stuff to the experts, and these ladies can truly help you with scaling and amplifying your voice. So whatever it is that you have out there that you are looking to do and to grow and to scale, again, we're here to help you do that. And whether that's through my Beyond Impact Communications class or Lainey and Christy's summits, I'm excited to introduce everything that we're going to be introducing you to. And also later on, talking more about retreats, because those are where true transformation can really happen in person. And if you're looking to get into doing retreats and hosting them, we're going to jump on again later on in another episode to talk more about those retreats. So that being said, everyone, thank you very much. And I just want to give a big shout out to Cheyenne Lindenbooth, who is basically my partner in crime when it comes to doing all the back end stuff for my marketing, for creating my my assets and marketing and that sort of thing. This is definitely not something that is possible to do unless you have good people that are surrounding you. So if you're interested in getting more information about connecting with Cheyenne so that she can possibly help you with creating your marketing, your branding, and your assets for social media, you can check her out at, we've got her, let's see here. We've got her, well, we did have it here. There it is. There's Cheyenne, socialbutterfly.designs. And she can help you with creating your, again, social media. And there's a lot of stuff with regards to the funnels and a lot of the technical stuff that still is way above my pay grade. But this is where if you have the right team around you, they can help you start to put the blocks in place in order for you to start building the strong foundation for you to really get out there and not make this so intimidating. Because when you first start something like this out, it can be intimidating because there's so much out there. But there's a lot of really simple tools that we are going to be sharing with you over the next few days and few weeks with what we're going to be sharing and how to give you the tools not only to grow your business, but also how to show up from that empowered place of confidence and clarity with delivering your message to the masses so that you can truly step into and grow and amplify everything that means the most to you, which is what I'm inspired to do. So thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time. And until then, take care.